Now at 5 a.m., this is WKYT This Morning. For the first time, we're hearing from the husband of a murdered Boyle County woman. We'll have the latest on that case just ahead this morning.
Hillary Clinton will take another day off the campaign trail, and now Trump supporters are questioning more than just her health. We're on the campaign trail coming up.
And former Wildcat and current NFL player could be fined after wearing some custom cleats during a game on September 11th. That story and your weather forecast ahead on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Kentucky mornings start here on WKYT. Good morning, and thank you so much for starting your day with us. I'm Andrea Walker.
I'm Bill Bryant. A very pleasant start to this Tuesday, September 13th. September often has very nice weather, and right now we're experiencing that.
Yes.
It's the weekend we're watching, right?
Right.
Meteorologist Micah Harris is on duty at our First Alert Weather Center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, the next few days really aren't all that bad. Yes, you still are in that summer pattern, which means you could have a pop-up shower thunderstorm throughout the rest of the work week, but for the most part it's going to be mainly dry. If you have any plans, stick to them as we go throughout your work week. It's the weekend, like Bill was talking about, that it looks kind of ugly. Temperatures sitting there in the 50s outside, couple of 60s sprinkled in here and there. 65 degrees right now at Jackson, but it's 55 in Mount Sterling. 87 by the afternoon, much warmer day in store. The focus of the forecast is during the work week is fairly quiet. Like I said, you can have a small chance of rain here or there, but it's a pretty active weekend. I'm going to show you when those storms appear, how that's going to affect your plans for the weekend. That's coming up.
Micah, we'll see you shortly, and let's get to the news.
We're hearing for the first time from the husband of a Boyle County woman who was murdered.
Jenna Oakley was found in New Mexico along with her boyfriend Kenneth Nye in her stepmother's stolen car after the murder. 911 dispatchers there call her the primary suspect in the case. WKYT's Lauren Miner is at our live desk with the latest on this case. Lauren, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Philip Oakley says his wife of 3 years, Rhonda Oakley, was his soulmate, the perfect mother, nana, and wife. Rhonda was murdered on September 1st in the family's home near Danville and found by her stepson when returning home from school. Kentucky State Police issued an alert for Philip Oakley's 15-year-old daughter, Jenna, who was missing with her stepmother's car. Investigators say Jenna and her 20-year-old boyfriend, Kenneth Nye, were found in the stolen car September 3rd in New Mexico. New Mexico dispatchers referred to Jenna as a primary suspect in the homicide, but KSP has not publicly named any suspects. Devastated by his wife's death, Philip Oakley had a few things to say about his daughter.
What people say about Jenna, I don't care. Say, feel however you want about her, I don't care. You grow up and you have children, and you know, you say you've got unconditional love for your children. Well, that's not true.
The sheriff in Quay County, New Mexico, says shortly after Nye's arrest, he hung himself inside the jail. Nye's injuries were so severe he was taken to a hospital in Texas where he was placed on a ventilator. There is no word on his condition. Bill, Andrea, back to you.
All right, Lauren, thank you very much. Lexington police say an IHOP employee was taking a smoke break in the middle of the night when she was robbed at gunpoint this morning.
The robbery happened just after 3 o'clock this morning. Police say they still haven't found the suspect. WKYT's Mike Byer is live with the latest on the investigation.
Good morning, Andrea. The suspect who robbed the IHOP employee is still on the loose this morning. Police say the employee was out back of the restaurant taking a smoke back just after 3 a.m. when she was approached by a man. Police say the suspect pulled a gun on her and demanded money. The employee then handed over her personal hard-earned tip money to the thief, who then fled the scene. Now, the description of the suspect is somewhat limited. Police say he's a skinny man standing at 5'7". They say he was wearing a gray hoodie and jeans. Now, police used a K9 to try and track him down, but had no luck doing so. Now, although the employee was shaken up for obvious reasons, the good news out of this is she was not hurt. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. We're learning more about a shooting in Clinton County that killed the son of a police chief. Police say the shooting happened at a home on Wolf River Dock Road that is not far from Dale Hollow Lake. Investigators say James Guffey, the son of Albany's police chief Ernest Guffey, was shot during an argument and later died at a hospital. Police say they later arrested the suspect, Travis Sloan of Albany, who has been charged with murder.
In Laurel County, police have arrested a man they say tried to rape a 12-year-old girl. The sheriff's office says Joshua Wagers met the girl through a mutual friend on social media and implied he was an officer. Police say through Snapchat, the girl's father discovered Wagers was coming to his home to pick the girl up. Once Wagers arrived, police say the father held him there until deputies arrived. Deputies say Wagers had a badge, police radio, gun, drugs, alcohol, and a box of condoms with him. He's now facing a long list of charges, including attempted murder. Rape.
Right, a rape charge there. Well, we are learning more about what led to a shooting that killed a 3-year-old boy in Louisville. It happened at an apartment in the city's Algonquin neighborhood. Police say the boy, Anthony Wells, found a loaded gun that had been hidden behind a television and started playing with it. At some point, police say the boy accidentally fired the gun, shooting himself. So far, police have not filed any charges.
A Richmond restaurant may stay closed today after a fire left the building full of smoke. It happened at Qdoba Mexican Grill off the Eastern Bypass. Richmond firefighters say the fire started by a gas grill in the kitchen. They say the grill's hood system put out most of the fire and firefighters took care of the rest. Thankfully, no one was injured. Still no word on when the restaurant will reopen.
Well, Hillary Clinton remains off of the campaign trail this morning. She's fighting pneumonia and facing questions about transparency.
The Democratic nominee is talking about her diagnosis as rival Donald Trump continues to bash her for criticizing his supporters. Hannah Daniels has the latest on campaign 2016.
How are you feeling,
Hillary Clinton is trying to set the record straight about her pneumonia diagnosis.
I just didn't think it was going to be that big a deal.
In a phone interview on CNN last night, she said she felt dizzy and briefly lost her balance while she was leaving a 9/11 memorial service Sunday.
Once I got in, once I could sit down, once I could cool off, once I had some water, I immediately started feeling better.
The Democratic nominee has come under fire from Republicans and some Democrats for failing to disclose the condition immediately after receiving the diagnosis Friday.
You've got a medical report on me that meets the same standard as Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. Donald Trump's doctor said he'd be the healthiest president in history. That's just not even serious. And I've released nearly 40 years of tax returns. He hasn't released one.
Instead of focusing on Clinton's health, Donald Trump riled up supporters in North Carolina yesterday, reminding them Clinton referred to them as deplorable last week.
These are not deplorable people, that I can tell you.
The event was repeatedly interrupted by protesters who were escorted out. One Trump supporter could be seen scuffling with at least 3 demonstrators, including a woman.
Is there any place in America more fun to be than a Trump rally, right?
Clinton and Trump go head-to-head in their first presidential debate in less than 2 weeks. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
Certainly looking forward to those debates. Both Clinton and Trump are expected to release more health records in the coming days. President Obama and Bill Clinton are filling in for Hillary on the campaign trail as she recovers. The president will be in Philadelphia and the former president in California. Donald Trump will hold rallies in Iowa and Pennsylvania.
Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is introducing an amendment that he says would help cities that rely on Lake Cumberland as a water source. It's an amendment to the Water Resources Development Act. It would prevent the Army Corps of Engineers from charging 11 cities and businesses that get their water from the lake a one-time user fee. And they would not have to pay annual operation and maintenance fees. Senator Paul says he's trying to prevent the government from placing more financial burdens on those cities and businesses. Well, it was his way of honoring those who lost their lives in the September 11th attacks. And now, former UK football player and current Tennessee Titan Avery Williamson could be fined.
Williamson wore a pair of custom-made patriotic cleats made by a man right here in Lexington during Sunday's game. Now those special shoes are up for auction. The highest bid will not only win the honorary 9/11 cleats, but they will also get an autographed jersey and 2 VIP game tickets. All the proceeds go to Operation Warrior Wishes, an organization that honors veterans. So a great thing that he did there, you know, and risk getting in trouble for it.
Right, and it's going to be interesting to see if the NFL, goes forth with these fines. Our time this morning is 5:09 on WKYT. We're just getting started right here on your Tuesday morning.
Coming up, this might be the only time some Ohio firefighters don't mind getting their department a little smoky. We'll meet the newest addition to the squad after Micah's forecast.
for much of your work week, I don't see much of an increase of any showers, thunderstorms. There is a small chance here or there. We're going to talk about that and also those temperatures on the rise once again. That's coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
50s and 60s outside early this morning. We're holding on to really nice conditions. Getting towards your afternoon, it's going to get a little bit warmer for today than it was yesterday. Yesterday was a little warm. It was a touch warmer than what we felt there on Sunday. Sunday was phenomenal. Yesterday was a little bit warmer, and then here we go, mid to upper 80s later on this afternoon. So we're jumping temperatures very rapidly. It feels good this morning. Kids will have no problem going off to the bus stop, you heading out to work. I don't see any issues. If you like to walk or run early in the morning hours, this is one of those mornings for you. 87 degrees there by the afternoon and mostly sunny skies. By the evening hours, once that sun sets, it's still pretty nice right there in the upper 70s. Go overnight and into tomorrow morning, no problems. I would say tomorrow there is a small chance of rain. And if you're saying, when do we have a rain chance during the work week? I need to make some plans. I would say Wednesday and Friday are your best chances of rain. However, they're small chances. They're not great chances whatsoever. We're talking 30% max out of these. So for the most part, we're going to stay dry the rest of the work week. But that's high school football. It's just like last Friday where you could have a shower, thunderstorm out there just kind of floating around. But most of us stay dry. Off toward halftime and the end of the game, it'll be really, really nice. Then we head towards your weekend. There's a big front heading our direction. A lot of that moisture will be surging northbound. So not only will you get the rain out of that, but you're going to feel it too if you're not under that rain. It's going to be pretty sticky. But that moisture will be with us. That front will roll through. That will give us that opportunity to not only see just rain, but you're talking about some heavy downpours too out of these as we head towards your Saturday. Saturday doesn't look that good. And I'll tell you this, it's a different type of setup than last Saturday. Last Saturday was a line of showers and thunderstorms that rolled through late in the day, and they didn't last all that long. Now, this isn't a line. This is going to be scattered showers, thunderstorms out and about, and it's going to last a good few hours. And right now, I would still lean more toward the afternoon and evening, but nonetheless, I mean, we're still 5 days out, so we'll have to really jot down that timing as we get a little bit closer. But for the most part, I would say if you have any plans, whether they're morning, afternoon, or evening, just know you might have to have a plan B just in case there on Saturday. Sunday, we kept that 60% chance of rain in there. That's just because we're still so far out. We're confident we're going to see rain, but we're not very confident on the exact timing on when it moves on out. So right now, we'll keep the rain chance there on Sunday, but I'm pretty confident there on Saturday it's going to look pretty wet. At least by the time we get there. It's just when does it move through? Because a lot of people got their events in on Saturday early in the day, and it rolled through late afternoon, often evening hours. We'll see if that is going to be the same case. We get a little bit closer.
All right, maybe the timing will work out.
Hopefully. Cross our fingers on that.
Okay, thank you so much. 5:16 right now.
Well, our heroes know the way to my heart with this next story. From homeless to hero, an Ohio fire department is getting a special addition to their squad to help lift their spirits.
Smokey is a rescue from a kill shelter in Utah. He's part of the Homeless to Hero program, which works with agencies to place dogs where they're needed most. Smokey is ready for his new job as an emotional support dog. He'll be living at the fire department full-time and ready to do his duty. Take a look there.
He's a cutie. He reminds me of my dog Shadow, so that's why I'm just like instantly in love with him. What a cutie.
Easygoing, it looks like, and that's what folks need in a trying time. All right, it is 5:16 on WKYT on your Tuesday morning, up and at it, and we have a lot more news on the way.
We're so glad you're with us. When we return, we take a look at your money.
Rolling up on 5:20 on WKYT this morning. Good morning to you and welcome back in. If you've ever dreamed of traveling to space, one company might be able to get you there by the end of the decade.
Plus, a new survey shows how happy each state is. Karina Mitchell has the latest on your money.
Investors will wait to see if Wall Street can extend gains made yesterday. The Dow jumped 239 points, while the Nasdaq added 86. Jeff Bezos has unveiled a heavy-lift reusable rocket that's expected to give Elon Musk's SpaceX a run for its money when it comes to commercial space travel. Bezos' company Blue Origin is designing two versions of the rocket named New Glenn after astronaut John Glenn. He says they're designed to fly humans into space by the end of the decade. And in a sign of things to come, Walmart has applied for a patent for self-driving shopping carts that customers can hail. According to the filing, carts will come equipped with motors and video cameras and can be programmed to return from the parking lot or in-store to a docking station when not in use. Walmart issued no comment on the filing. And a new survey finds Utah is the happiest state in the nation. Wallet Hub compared all 50 states and D.C. in key metrics, including income and emotional health. Minnesota ranked second, followed by North Dakota. West Virginia came in last. And that's your Money Watch. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. In New York, I'm Karina Mitchell.
Oh, and by the way, Kentucky ranked at number 49 on the list of happiest states.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I know.
We need to
come on.
fix that. We need to bring that up, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you know, most people you run into, I think, are happy.
I
For the most
know.
part, wouldn't you think? All right, in other business news this morning, Weight Watchers CEO James Chambers is calling it quits.
Chambers will make his exit at the end of the month after 3 years in the position. 3 executives will take over Chambers' duties during the company's search for a new chief executive.
Well, I guess if it takes 3 to replace you, you're working pretty hard.
You're a pretty good guy, huh?
Yeah, 5:22 now on WKYT on your Tuesday morning. Up and at it. We're so glad you're along. Our top stories coming up at the bottom of the hour, just in a few minutes here.
And coming up next, we've got sports.
It's a really nice start to the day as you're walking outside, walking out the door. I don't see any issues whatsoever. We haven't heard anything there on the roadway, so that's pretty nice. 87 degrees by the afternoon, mostly sunny skies. All looks well there in the forecast for today. Let's check out sports, see what's going on.
Well, Saturday, the Cats were swamped and soundly stomped by a Florida team who struggled with UMass in week number 1. UK losing 45-7, and at times it didn't feel even that close. For Drew Barker, it was his worst game as a Wildcat. Granted, Barker hasn't played that much in his college career, but it's likely one of the worst performances of his entire football career. Just 2 for 10 passing for 10 yards and 3 interceptions, and a QB rating of -31.
I was surprised that he didn't respond much better, and he did get hit on the first play, and you know, he can play better and will, but again, you know, he knows that, and need to play better around him, and you know, give him some protection, get open, and it's everybody, but he could take his part as well.
Well, Drew and the Wildcats will have an opportunity to get back on track Saturday when they host the Aggies of New Mexico State. 4 p.m. kickoff on the SEC alternate channel. The NCAA is pulling 7 championship events from the state of North Carolina for the coming year due to a state law that some say can lead to discrimination against the LGBT community. Here are the events to be held elsewhere. Men's basketball tournament games set for Greensboro. That's big for the Duke and North Carolina basketball programs. Division I Women's Soccer Championship, Division III Men's and Women's Soccer Championships, Division I Women's Golf Regional Championships, Division III Men's and Women's Tennis Championships, Division I Women's Lacrosse Championship, and the Division II Baseball Championship. Big news there. Well, on Sunday, J.B. Holmes finished 4th at the BMW Championship to secure a spot in the 30-player field for the Tour Championship in 2 weeks. And yesterday, there was more good news for the former UK golfer. J.B. named one of 3 captain's picks for the U.S. Ryder Cup team that will compete in Hazeltine, Minnesota at the end of the month. Holmes just played for the U.S. Ryder Cup team back in 2008. And that's a look at your morning sports. Have a great day.